All right, here we go.
Well, that was spoken.
This is a pre-production meeting. You know what they call it in your guys' business?
The mic is always hot.
That was spoken like your dad. I don't want to get back up.
All right, you got your mic on? Andy, you got your mic on?
Size, dude.
I'm not going to eat
Right,
so
rock.
if you want to eat it.
Check. Perfect.
Civilins.
You going home when you stay home?
Civilins.
So Tom Hanks, SNL skit? Yeah.
I'll make a piece of
Seconds.
Count on whenever you go.
All right, ready? Stand by, everybody. Here.
Oh, I forgot
was
you
an
went
intern.
through whiskey?
For us way back
No,
when.
no, not
I play the same number all the time.
Dinosaurs
It's
were over there.
becoming one off. I'm ready to play that number. They have that
One off.
one off.
Like 9 years ago.
What, 4 did you enter?
I play the 40. I play my kids' birthdays every day.
See, I'm not.
No,
Yeah,
that's
I'm
right.
not before going to Fredis. All right, welcome to another edition of Pizza Cave here on SportsForDetroit.com. Roger still alongside me, the usual suspects. Pizza to my right, Freddy the Pizza Man to my left, to my whatever.
Double left?
Double left. Double left, Angel Fada, and a man directly centered to me now. Fun story about.
Should I put on 94.7 right now?
Only if you got a meter on.
Spring of take you guys way back to spring of 2007. I was a young, nervous, Specs-Howard student at the time, and I did the interview. Didn't think I did too well, and I ended up interning. Learned everything I know about the business. Learned how to produce. Learned how to make sure when I'm editing that the Tigers crack at bat. No one cares about the audio before that, but
So you
crack
felt
at the
sorry
bat.
for him, you hired him.
Yeah.
Taught him in a
Yeah,
bit.
the crack at the bat.
We taught him that.
Yeah, there's a lot of things I learned from him. I got the first chance to talk to George Blaha was because of this man right here, Joe O'Brien from WCSX. Jim, welcome.
Welcome.
Hey!
Yeah.
Ready?
What's going on, Jim?
Nothing. Pizza for breakfast. I'm good.
Oh yeah. A lot to talk to today. We're going to talk about the Wayne County, the Wayne bracket here, this Detroit female personality contest. We're going to have the bracket up here out there shortly. We'll talk about the Tigers, a little bit of National League, talk some Padres, his hometown. I know we laughed about that.
That's 8 seconds.
Who's the right? Is Kurt Bovacqua still playing for him?
Oh,
We
yeah.
fired Black. Yeah, we fired.
1968? Is that when they were born?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
We fired Bob Black for no reason.
And they fired Bruce Bochy.
We'll talk about the whole Calvin Johnson. We'll talk about the whole Calvin Johnson thing, and we'll talk some UFC as well. Tonight, Diaz and McGregor. Of course, it's really two polar opposites of fighters. But first things first, let's go to Freddie and his picks for this Saturday.
The Picks Hour on Love Talk Radio. You want to go with yours first? Go ahead, give me this
I need some good luck.
Good luck,
My
yeah, go
picks
with
have
this
been
first.
just a nightmare.
Yeah, I just go against you. That makes
Pretty much, yeah. It's a smart way to go. Whenever I say do the opposite, it's kind of like what my kids do. No, tonight, Hockey Night in Canada, Channel 9. First game is Ottawa at Toronto, I believe. Smart money would be take Ottawa, but I think Toronto's got their new look, young core out today.
They called up a lot of guys. Yeah.
Bada boom, yep. So
Sure.
I'd go with the Maple Leafs. What the heck, piss into the wind a little bit, see what you got.
See if I
Take
got that
the
Canadian
Maple
accent.
Leafs. There you go.
All right, I was 8-0 my last 8 picks.
Yeah.
And then Utah screwed me at the end yesterday in the last 30 seconds.
But,
I know. I'm going to go back to Utah again today. They're at New Orleans. They're plus 1.5. They're going to win this game. It's their last game. Usually I don't take games when they're last game of a long road trip. But I think Utah beats them today. And then I'm going to take, there we go here. Wait. My thing, refresh, baby. All right.
Is that Tinder? Tinder. Swipe right for your picks. Swipe right. No, you got it. You're fine.
Then I'm going to go another NBA game, Chicago. Chicago's actually a home dog. They're playing Houston. Houston doesn't play no defense. Chicago stinks. But give me Chicago plus the 1 is a home dog. I love those home dogs. And then I'm going to go to hockey like Andy. The Washington Capitals at Boston. What did I just ask Tom Lydon the other day? Boston stinks at home. They're really good on the road. Boston's at home. Give me the Capitals. It's probably even money or plus 1.5. Plus 1.5, you're going to probably get minus 200, but take even money on this, the money line. Washington Capitals. 3 picks.
And real quick, now that I have a horse show called the Whip and Nene Show, I have a pick that I need to throw out there real quick. Today, don't forget the $400,000 Gotham Stakes from the Big A Aqueduct, the Kentucky Derby qualifier. Look for number 2, Shagaff. Erod Ortiz on the saddle, Chad Brown the trainer, 3-1 on the morning line. Look for number 2, Shagaff as your winner.
All right.
I like that. A little OTB action.
Absolutely. I got nothing. I don't know about horses. So.
I like the cock, hit the horse cocked and loaded.
Number 18 in the country right now for 3-year-olds. There you go, buddy.
It's also on Showtime after 11.
And you can skin a max.
Oh, yeah. Totally different race.
Yeah. So,
Poor Freddy's like, what?
That's hilarious.
but anyway, so those are the picks for the weekend. Yeah, Freddie was coming in 8-0 until last night, and I'm sure he was kind of
10-1.
10-1 for the week. And you're ironic enough during Twitter, it was like no one can give you any kind of credit until recently. Now people are trying to give a little credit.
Yeah, on Twitter you get no credit.
I think you're
good
the best,
call.
man.
Good call.
So with the Tigers right now, the Tigers in spring training, and of course Maven being out for a few weeks, former Padre. Look at the Padres. To talk about a little National League baseball, but
Poor Jim.
that is a situation. And you shake your head because it's just because it's one of those things. Like before we get to the Tigers, let me ask you this, Jim, as a Padres fan from afar, watching this franchise just seemingly sell their talent away. Go back to I'll even date myself here, the Roberto Alomar days where they traded Roberto Alomar, Fred McGriff, and then they got really nothing in return. We would get far back to Austin Smith. This team has had some of the best talent, Hall of Fame talent, and for whatever reason just can never put it together. It has to frustrate you as a fan.
Well, thanks for dredging up all the bad memories. When we talk about your ex-girlfriend?
Oh, yeah.
Were you born in San Diego?
I wasn't born in San Diego. I lived in LA. I've been here 13 years, but I can give you guys a different perspective than most people. I was in '84 as a senior in high school as a Padres fan.
Yikes.
So watching the Padres come here to that freaking Thunderdome at Tiger Stadium, anyone in San Diego, we all knew it wasn't a question of if we were going to lose or whether or not we're going to get swept. First time you see Tiger Stadium with that team, you go, oh my God, they've got 8 All-Stars. Why are we even here? It's a bad organization, and it's sad. I feel bad for the people in San Diego. I follow the Tigers more than the Padres right now, but it's a train wreck, and they're not going to be good for like the next 3 years.
Tram will hit those 2 home runs the Saturday morning, Game 3 of the World Series.
Yeah, if we have to rely on Kurt Papakwa to win a game for you, you're in trouble, dude. But I will say this about Maven. The frustrating thing, and I think Tiger fans are going to see it again, because this isn't his first time here, he's all potential.
Yep.
He's all potential. When do you stop going, all right, this guy, he's 26, 27, whatever the hell he is.
Right.
And everyone talking about potential. There's got to be a point where maybe he just is what he is. He's not a great player. He's good, but I just as soon have Anthony goes. In my opinion.
Do you think he's more suited for National League baseball as opposed to American League? Or with the DH in American League, do you think that will actually maybe help him out a little bit so he doesn't have to play the field, he can just focus on batting?
Well, he needs to focus on making contact because he swings out of his butt half the time. I mean, and we've seen too many Tiger guys in the past couple of years that strike out way too often, which is what drove people nuts in San Diego. So maybe.
Do you remember when Maven was called up to the Tigers? He hit the home run against Roger Clemens.
Yeah, in Yankee Stadium,
Yeah.
right?
And do you remember? You probably remember this. Do you remember he was playing the outfield? He was playing left field. He wasn't playing center field, and he threw the ball, and it was like a duck. It went, instead of going to home field, it went almost into the stands.
Oh, yeah.
And then whoever announced that game said it's much harder to throw from left field than it is from center field.
Weren't we higher on Maven even than Andrew Miller?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Right? I mean,
Yes.
Maven was like
Yes.
the guy with the flat lid, the whole look. I mean, everyone's like, this
Yeah.
guy is the prototypical center fielder. And I don't see it. I guess I understand why the Tigers wanted to bring him back. I guess. But no great loss to me that he broke his wrist. I mean, it sucks for him, but no great loss.
Yeah.
Well, they gave up being
And-
Crow, which is good. So
Yeah.
they gave up nothing for him.
Well, actually, yeah, and they really didn't give up anything. The school wasn't going to work out. You mentioned this the other day about, I saw this on Twitter, that you were saying that possibly getting an outfield for an organization. I disagree with that because the Tigers have a plethora of 4A outfielders because that's all their farm system seems to produce. Guys who will be nice bench players, but no quote-unquote five-tool guys, if you will. But, Pete, you have a different perspective on this.
Yeah, I did put out the APB for Ajax, who's still a free agent. The only problem is the Tyler Collins experiment. You just said it. It's more of this 4A player stuff. That's all that Toledo seems to produce is the 4A style. I mean, I'm concerned about the depth when injuries arise, and unfortunately, it started early. I mean, 4 to 6 months. Yeah, I mean. 4 months, yeah, opening day isn't for 5 weeks, so that's longer than 4 months, but still,
4 to 6 weeks, you mean?
4
Yeah, well, 4 to 6 weeks, but I'm saying like I think it's 5 weeks from now, in between whatever his opening day. But yeah, I mean, he's still not going to be ready. He has no spring training. The Tigers are a mess, and just don't be fooled. And I really think that we need to get away from this 4A stuff. And I'd like to see them bring in Ajax to put him on the bench. At least he's a major league ball player.
I don't know why people dog on Tyler Collins. I don't get it. Every time he's been up here, he's performed. He's got to be given at bats. What's hurting him now is left-hander. They need a right-handed bat. That's because you got goals out there, and you have who's the other guy?
They have Soto Martinez.
Well, actually, you know what? Now that I think about it, no, Elfton and Martinez are right. So Tyler Collins, he needs to let the kid play, man. I don't get it. I mean, I'd rather have Tyler Collins than Austin Jackson. We've seen him. We've seen that Austin Jackson debacle.
So would you rather have Collins over Ghost in center field on opening day? Who's playing center field for the Tigers opening day?
Well, it was going to be Ghost and Maven, but I'll be honest.
Well, I mean, now with Maven,
to be honest with you, if I had to pick between Ghost and Collins, it'd be Collins in a heartbeat.
Okay.
In a heartbeat, because Ghost can't hit. He just can't. He's not good in the defense. He's not good in the field.
One quick note: I saw that now with Maven out, the Tigers only have 2 true center fielders on their roster. So
Derek Hill, maybe he gets pushed.
My whole point is it's going to have to be another 4A player.
Do you remember when they lost their catcher in 2001? They had nobody. Who did they bring up? Brandon Inge, right? So maybe a Derek Hill, the first round pick a couple years ago, you just never know. He might just be pushed up in the lineup to sit on the bench.
Well, let me.
Speaking of that, I'm sorry, Brian Holiday played third base yesterday.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's getting some looks, but there's a couple.
Bats.
This is what I can see as a possibility. If Moya continues to hit, I think Moya has a chance to make his team.
Yes.
And they unfortunately would have to put Ghost out there full time and put Moya as a platoon position.
Yep.
And they would have to be creative because right now, as it stands, the Tigers' top prospects, Michael Gruber was Gruber was in Single A in West Michigan last year. Derek Hill still
Also shots. The guy.
Hill's not even been to Erie, Double A Erie yet. So that's a guy that you really right now cannot rely on because the Tigers, in terms of outfield depth in the system, kind of lack. They don't. Right now they have a lot of relievers. They have a lot of guys. I mean, Hill is the ranked 3rd in the prospects list, but Christian Stewart's a guy too that has not hit above. I believe he's not hit over. Yeah, he's not been hit over above Single A. And this is Single A West Michigan, which is the lower ranks compared to Lakeland. Now, if he's hitting Lakeland, you know, if the Erie hitting, that's something to say. But West Michigan has always been that's the low A. So they don't really have anybody, but I think Moya is a kind of a dark horse right now. That makes
center
his team.
field?
Not as a center fielder. They would have to be creative with it because in all reality, they have guys there. They would just have to play around with it. They would have to be something where they're like, okay, well, Collins, see what you can do out in the outfield, like in a platoon situation.
How about Dixon Machado? Didn't he play center field a little bit? He's a right-handed bat.
He's more of a shortstop, but one guy we're forgetting is Winton Bernard.
No, Bernard.
Winton Bernard is in the mix as well.
Yeah, Bernard. That's a guy.
Machado, I could have swore he played center field a little bit in the minors.
I don't know if he did. As far as I know, he's
I think if he
infielder,
could play shortstop, I think he could play center field. In my opinion.
100%.
I'm more intrigued by the guy named Shots, just because for my own,
Yeah, he's a good. He's a good
go to the
player.
Elwood after the game and just salute Shots.
Yeah.
there you go.
Or never make it home, but it'd be a hell of a game.
I would love to have
Every time he
shots
crosses the
jersey.
plate,
Right, Shots.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
boom.
Yeah, that lawyer could give his kid a shot instead of the hard lemonade.
He's been in the minors. He's one guy, Dave DeBruschi, that didn't trade.
You know what's interesting too was the Yankees on Thursday or Wednesday that would start this whole thing was they hit Maven and then yesterday they hit Ryan Mitchell hit Ian Kinsler. So I don't know what's up with this tight.
Did Verlander plunk somebody yesterday?
Yes, he did.
Yeah. Good. It's his team.
Verlander's known for getting people back.
Good.
Yeah.
He's stepping up as a leader.
Ghost also got hit by a pitch. And so again, that was one of those things.
Great point, Freddie.
He's finally stepping
Great
up.
point, Freddie.
Because you know Miguel Cabrera can step up as a leader.
But I don't. Again, and Friday and I have argued about this for the entire duration of knowing since we do these shows that really it's one of those things that like I don't think he has to be a vocal leader. Right? I don't think you need to be one. I think you just set the tone for everything else and kind of go from there. And you talk about Anthony Ghost's defensive stats. He says defensive analysis is a scam, and I don't know what you guys think about that, but like in terms of the.
I thought about you when he said that the analytics is a joke or something like that.
Bill
I really
James-
thought of you.
Bill James has done a lot for baseball, but there's sometimes where I think it's like a little too stabby. I mean, Jim, you gotta you've watched a lot of baseball. Isn't this one? I mean, how much analytics do you take